to go.
Alexa, you can start. Alexa.
Yes, we are good to go.
Yeah, hello guys, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about the post-production of any like audiovisual film. So this like whatever we are going to speak today, this production pipeline or post-production pipeline, it applies to any of your audiovisual production. It could be your ad film, it could be your feature film, it could be your like any short film. Okay, so basically we are going to talk about the post-production aspects. So it involves both video post-production and audio. So basically I'll take you through the presentation, and we'll see one by one the status of post-production. Okay, so in between, if you have any question, please ask. Okay, so basically we'll start with the storage. So again, this is the first stage of post-production. Uh, Once you're done with the production, you should you should take backup of your storage. Okay. Now, before starting the post-production, there are various ways to store your footage. Okay, so you can use multiple options. So the very basic option is using your hard disk or your SSD. Okay, so basically you're editing a small scale project. In that case, you can use your like personal external drive, or you can uh, dump your entire let's say footage in your local drive. Okay, so for that you can use your hard disk. Let's say if you're working with a larger scale of project, in that case you'll have to use another method of storing your footage, that's RAID drive. Okay, so now what is RAID drive? With the RAID drive system, you can connect multiple hard drives using like multiple connectivity like Thunderbolts and Firewire and all that. Okay, so we called it DAS. It's a direct access to storage. Okay, so with this method, you can connect multiple hard disk at a time. Okay, then there is one more method called SAN. Let's say if you're working with project like on single project, let's say multiple editors are going to work. In that case, you'll have to store your entire footage on the network drive. Okay, so for that system we called storage access network. Okay, it's a SAN. The last method, you can also store your footage or store your media on cloud based drive. But remember, cloud based drive, we can use it for just the archive purpose, or just to store the data. But if you are going to edit the footage, you should navigate or you should copy the footage to your local drive or RAID drive or any external drive. Okay, so we'll just move to the next slide. Editing. So again, it's a very important stage of the post production. Okay, so where the very first stage is you're going to manage your entire media. Okay, so like before importing, you should create a folder structure. Okay, we called it DIT, data management. So while production, there is like uh, there is person to manage entire your DIT or your data, who stores the entire footage, uh, uh, segregating the scenes, and he segregates the scenes, or day wise he store the entire footage in your like local drive, or it could be the hard disk, external hard disk. Okay, from the external hard disk, you second stage is the importing your entire media. Okay, where you import the media in the non-linear rating software. Okay, so nowadays we use non-linear rating software. So it could be like any software. Nowadays we use Adobe Premiere. Uh, Again, we have FCP, Avid Media Composer. So there are like multiple softwares for the non-linear editing, video editing. Okay, so now while editing, there are multiple ways to import your media. Let's say uh, if you're working with 4K resolution file, you have like shot your entire movie with 4K, and you're going to edit on your laptop. So it might happen if you're working with if you have import your entire 4K footage in any non-linear editing software, it might happen your system may get lagged because of the 4K resolution file format. Okay, so in that case, there are various ways to tackle that situation or to tackle that issue. You can't always import your media as a proxy. Now, what is proxy? Let's say you have your 4K resolution file, and while importing, like some softwares gives the options to convert your footage into proxy. So while importing, it imports two different file formats. One is your original optimized media. It's like ProRes format, and second will be the proxy media. Okay. Now, what is proxy media? It imports your file format with lower resolution. Let's say you have like 4K resolution file, it will import 2K file, or if you have 2K file, it will import as a 720 file. Okay, so while editing, you can use that proxy media file, okay, to edit entire footage. And after finishing the edit, you can simply switch to optimized media before taking the output. Okay, then once you import your media, again the important task is to organize that entire media. Okay, now in any editing software, you can create bins. It's a kind of folder structure only. Okay, so where you tag the footages like day wise, or if you want to sort the footage like day wise or scene wise, or let's say the actor wise. So that kind of beans or that kind of folder structure you should create in your editing software. And then there are ways to tag the media like favorite clips and rejected clips. So as you know, while production, we use the TCR sheet or log sheet, okay, where we define the OK text and the NG text, not a granted text. Okay, so referring to that, editor can manage the media using these tags.
Uh,
Yeah.
yes, sir. Before you move on to the next point, I would like just to
Yes, please.
how to explore more on the DIT. As you mentioned that, as Ganesh
Right.
mentioned that, the data or segregation of data. That's what happens in DIT. So DIT it means digital imaging technicians, basically, who directly works with the camera department. Okay, so basically, when you call for a camera setup, so there is a camera attendant and a DIT. I mean, maybe one or two camera attendant and one DIT guy who comes. So DIT. So what does the DIT guy does? He transfer. So whenever every time when you're shooting, he keeps on transferring the data from the card to the hard drive. Okay, but it's just not only about transferring; it's also about segregating the data. So maybe, as Sir Ganesh said, maybe day wise or maybe scene wise. So there's always an AD who sits with the DIT guy, and he does the segregation. So maybe scene wise or maybe day wise, he will start segregating, and he will name each and every folder, he or she, whoever, it will, he'll, he or she will segregate the folders, create the folders, and as per that, short wise, he or she will transfer the data. Now, what the DIT is responsible is also about image quality control. Like, uh, his job is to control the image. There should not be any you know uh, the frame rate should not fall, or maybe that onset, whatever color correction has been done. If you're shooting with heavy cameras, maybe if you're shooting with the red, for example, you can do onset color correction of it. So that whatever color correction you've been doing, that should not be gone. So it's basically the DIT's job is basically to manage the whole production production workflow, so that it can help the post production. So when, as an editor, my editor is going to open the file, uh, he or she should be always very clear with, okay, fine, which folder, in which folder I'll get what. And not only that, so once the folder is done, the AD's job is to note it down, or maybe maybe in a piece of paper, or maybe in an Excel sheet, regarding which folder has what. And that the same sheet goes to the editor if it's a feature film. If it has got more number of shots, it can go. It is the editor's job. Uh, and also regarding the ProRes, so I have a question. Before we go ahead, Ganesha, do do we also need to go for a conversion if you are shooting with high resolution?
Yeah, that's what. If you have like while importing, as I said, there are two ways to importing. While importing, you can import your like you are going to import your material, raw footage with the proxy media, where we generate the uh, proxy media of that similar project file, or like the footage. Okay, that proxy media we are going to we use for the rough edit. Okay, so it generates the semi like half resolution file for the edit purpose. Yeah, Ritu.
Yeah, no. So you have answered. So
Okay, okay, okay. So I'll just continue.
and whatever questions, we'll start
Yeah, yeah.
the questions.
Yes, yes, yes,
Please.
yes, please. Okay. So the next stage, like whatever you have imported, and after importing, you organize you have to organize the media with tagging and creating bins and all that. Then we do the backup. Okay. So before start the editing, we create a backup of that entire organized media. There are ways to creating a backup or getting a backup from the non-linear editing software. It helps whenever like in between edit in maybe due to some technical issues, if you lost any file from the timeline, you can always retrieve or relink those files from backup folder. That's why it's again it is a important stage to create a backup of your entire organized clips or footages or project. Okay.
This backup is just not only. I'll just would like to give a small.
Yeah.
I'd like to share an experience of
Okay.
mine. So recently, not recently, sometimes back,
Yeah.
last year, I was shooting something for for a bigger brand, and there was an agency involved in it.
Okay.
So once we shot everything, after the whole day, the DIT guy was transferring the footage from. So before we could have backed, before we could have backed up with
Hmm.
another hard drive, put it
Right.
in. There was this agency guy who did something, and we lost the footage.
Oh.
Okay, we lost the footage.
Hmm.
So basically, every time, so basically this agency guy was looking out for the footages, how it was shot the whole day, which
Right.
so so there was this question there in the responsibility of AD. So as uh, an AD's job is to, before you do a backup to another hard drive, don't to
Hmm.
anyone else. And backup could be any way. Maybe I
Right.
have got one hard drive and then we transfer it to cloud, or maybe from one hard drive to another hard drive, and never transfer from one hard drive to another hard drive. So if I have done one backup to one hard drive, keep it separate. Take the another hard drive, then transfer the data, actual data, to the another hard drive and keep it as a backup, but then not from one hard drive to another hard drive, because we might lose some footage. There are possibilities,
Right.
and before you create another backup, don't look out for, okay, how this footage is looking, or how this thing has been shot, because it might create, or we might lose our footage. So our overall work can go for a toss. So
Hmm.
don't get into that before you create another backup.
Right. So after creating backup of the entire project, there is again important uh, stage where we create canvas, or we can say sequence, to line up your movie or your storyline. Okay, so setting up your timeline settings. Okay, so it's again a very important stage, because many times at the beginning student shot with like 4K 2K resolution cameras, and whenever they like at the time of doing editing, because of wrong selection of sequence, they might lose their like resolution because of preset selection of timeline. Okay, so before starting any project, you should select appropriate timeline setting or sequence setting. It should be matched with your file formats. Let's say you have a shot with 2K resolution camera. So you should check the resolution first and match the timeline setting with that particular format. Let's say you have shot with 30 fps and you are editing on 25 fps. So footage will automatically get convert in for 25 fps. So that's why timeline setting is again a very important aspect of editing. Okay, so you should have checked the entire footage format before start the editing or before setting the timeline. Okay, again no, because you're going to decide your entire workflow with this timeline setting. That's why it's very important. Okay, okay, so moving forward, again you assemble the footage. Okay, and we'll be creating the rough cut with the use of multiple tools and all that. Then the audio synchronization. Okay, at a very basic stage, assistant editor's job is to sync the audio footage, because nowadays we use like separate audio storage device, audio devices, audio recorders to record your audio or to capture your audio. Okay, so meanwhile, like production, while production, we maintain the as I said, log sheet, where we TCR sheet, where we keep track of each video clip and audio clip. Okay, so with referring that, assistant editor's job is to sync the entire video footage with the audio. Then comes the fine tuning, where you shapes the story and you decide the narrative and all that. And after the fine tune, there is term called edit lock. Okay, uh, so once you lock the edit, uh, it's like the edit log term comes when you're going to send the entire timeline to like further process. It could be like color correction, audio, and all that. Okay, so before that, uh, like for that, we have a term called edit log. Okay, so once you log your edit, you send the entire footage to different departments as per your project requirement.
So again, this is from the from the directional aspect of it. Before we log the edit, so once the first draft is done,
Right.
we there are variable. I mean, there are various ways of it, but I'll just talk about one particular aspect, one particular process. Let's say put it on the cloud. So now. The approval needs to come before we log the edit and send it to different other
Right.
various other departments. So if it's an ad, then we need to get an approval from the agency, client, director. So first is from the director, then comes the agency, and then third comes the client. Obviously, whatever changes the client's gonna ask, we need to change as per the client. So before you log the edit and send it to different other or various other departments, first thing, get the approval, and then you go for an or locking the edit. So
Right.
don't log the edit on the first and send it to the different various departments, and then the agency guy or the client will come and will ask you for changes. Then it will be a waste of time, energy, and money, a lot of money.
Right.
So first send it through, I mean, put it on a cloud and give it to
Hmm.
and share it with agency and the director. And obviously, it will be the job of the post-production supervisor or coordinator or line producer. Majorly, it's the job of a line producer or production coordinator, who is always the mediator between director, uh, who represents the production house, then the agency, and the client. So it's the line producer's job, or in a post-production studio, line producer is also called as a production coordinator. So
Right.
it will be his or her job to send these links to various people, and once the approval comes in, or if any changes comes, then he or she will inform to the editor. Accordingly, the changes will be done, uh, and then the next step, locking the edit and sending it to the different other
Right.
various other departments.
Right. So just to addition with that, now here the proxy media, because we send the entire footage or entire movie to approval. That's why we should have our proxy media generated before, like uh, in advance, because with the proxy media, what we can do, if you have 4K resolution file, 4K resolution like file formats, so we can't send that entire project, or we can't upload that heavy project, or we can't send that heavy project through cloud. That's why we should create the proxy media, so it creates the lower resolution file, and we can send it for approval. Okay, can we move forward, or any questions are here?
So we have one question: what is the responsibility of an assistant editor? So
Yeah.
we can answer that, and then we can go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. So again, the lineup or rough cutting, and as I said, the audio synchronization. So this is the job of again the assistant editor, and assistant editor have to manage the entire, or organize. He organize the entire media. He creates the bin as per the log sheet or TCR sheet.
Hello.
Yeah, Ritu.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you have already covered
Yeah. Can we
everything.
move ahead?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So once you lock your edit, then again the third stage of conforming it. Okay. So conforming your entire uh, timeline. Now, what is conforming? Uh, Now, after finishing editing, you're going to send the uh, entire timeline to various department for the further process. Like if you want to do the color grading, and if you have like some kind of video VFX shots, or the sound part needs to be done. So in that case, you have to generate multiple kinds of media or multiple kinds of files to send to respective departments. Okay, so this is the method, or this is the step we are going to where you are going to produce, or where you are going to export your timeline for various departments. Let's say there are like multiple methods where we export XML and EDL. If you want to send your file, or if you want to send your project to color grading, now for color grading, there are various softwares, DaVinci Resolve and all that. So like before sir, you can't send entire timeline or any software's timeline into DaVinci Resolve. Okay, we can't open any like if you work with FCPX and you want to do the color grading with DaVinci Resolve, you will have to export your timeline in particular file formats. Okay, so there are multiple file formats like XML and EDL, where we exports the metadata. Okay, now EDL and XML contains the metadata of each uh, clip. It contains the information of each clip, duration and content. Okay, so along with EDL file, you will have to submit your original footage. Okay, let's say you have used the external drive for editing, and after edit log you'll have to export EDL file, and to color grades you will have to submit the EDL file along with your original footage, which is stored on your external drive. Okay, so that color grading guy can link the entire timeline with your original footage, which is stored in your external drive. Got it? Then there is one more option. If you want to send your entire project to audio purpose, or audio mixing purpose, or maybe let's say noise removal and music purpose, in that case you have to export OMF file format. Okay, it generates the audio file, and your sound engineer can open those files in respective softwares. Okay, and he can work on it individually. Okay, now what is different between sending entire exported file, like if you export any audio file from your timeline, it merges your entire cut points. Okay, so we know cut points, you'll get a single clip or single wave file with merged files. Now OMF creates individual audio files, where sound engineer can work on individual files, and he can uh, like refine it effectively. Then if you have VFX shot, again you'll have to export, or you will have to provide its original uh, file of the particular shot. You can't provide the proxy media of that particular shot because it's a VFX shot, and VFX needs the uncompressed footage to process the compositing and all that. Right, Ritu?
Also, I would like to not elaborate, but just given more information about EDL and XML.
Yeah.
So EDL is also called as edit
decision list. Yeah.
List is basically a text file that contains the time code and source step information. So we know that need to work on. And XML file is basically it's an HTML document, which is again gives the data, or defines the object and data that again we need to work on. So XML is the extensible markup language, and EDL is edit decision list that we send it to once the edit is done, then we send it to for the further work.
Right. So basically, both file contains the just the metadata. Okay, so moving forward, so after confirming, there's again motion graphics,
Uh,
where we, yeah.
before we go to motion graphics, I would like to say something. Uh, you know, uh, so majorly in very specifically, I would say, or not only specifically in ad, but even television channels, and sometimes in feature films as well. What happens? No, there's majorly I've seen it in ads a lot. Okay, so there's always a post-production supervisor, okay,
Right.
who takes care of all these departments. Okay, so there is always a post-production supervisor, which is who is hired after the shoot is happened. So he is also basically, we can call him as a post-production director. So the director who has shot the film, once the film is done, sometimes he takes care of it, and then sometimes along with the post-production supervisor, mostly the post-production supervisor, or whom we can call as a post-production director, he takes care of all of it. Now, importantly, post-production supervisor, he is not an editor, he is not a motion graphic artist or VFX artist, but he or she, whoever, has an understanding of each and every department. And his or her job is to take care of all these departments along with the production coordinator, or maybe with an assistant director, in coordination with the production house agency and the client, and whatever Ganesh sir is defining each and every step. So the post-production supervisor will supervise each and every step in terms of narrative and as well as the technicalities of it. So this is another. I mean, the only reason why I'm saying this is another career opportunity that as a filmmaker we can look forward. So yes, anything Ganesh sir, would like to add?
Yeah. So, like after confirming, now like multiple things will go parallel. Okay. Now, motion graphics is not the stage after uh, like confirming the entire things and all that. Because now onwards, like after edit log, it will like multiple uh, um, uh, what we can say, multiple department works on parallelly. Like if you have some kind of motion graphics required in your project, motion graphics team will work parallelly. Then audio team works parallelly. Then VFX team works parallelly, and the color grading part is uh, uh, like it comes after the VFX. Okay, so again, moving forward, I'll
One more
just
thing.
huh,
So before again we start the motion graphic, so
huh,
we need to talk about VFX. Okay, so let's say VFX has a lot of many different departments altogether. So motion graphic is one of the departments. So there is motion graphics, and there is CD, which is also called as computer graphics. Okay, motion graphic is again a part of computer graphics, and rotoscopic, roto department. Then match move is another department. Then if you are shooting something which is heavy green screen oriented footage, then priorly we will require a post-production supervisor or a technical director. We call them the technical director, along with designing the background. So we will either will require a 2D digital artist. So as we can see, there is a green screen and there is a background. So the background can be drawn. So we will require a digital painter basically. So sometimes it can be 2D digital painter or it can be 3D digital painter. So if it's 3D, then we definitely will require few other departments to work on.
yeah, Rito sir. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, Ganesh, sir, please go on. We can hear you.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll move to the fourth.
Sorry, there seems to be a problem in the audio, maybe internet connectivity, so we can't hear you.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so moving forward with the motion graphics stage, we create the titles, and if there are like some requirements of logo overlays, so logo overlays and basic effects, and then 2.5D. Now, what is 2.5D? Where in some like if you are creating if you are making a documentary where you want to use multiple images. Now, using plain images with the live action, it looks like we'll have to animate few things. Okay, so with the 2.5D in motion graphic stage, we can uh, move, or we can mask few characters from those images, and we can add some parallax kind of effect. Okay, so that kind of effect to that kind of achieve that kind of effect, we need motion graphics softwares like Adobe After Effects, and there is Apple Motion. So we do motion graphics work in those kind of softwares. Okay. Ritu sir is there?
Yes, yes. I just sorry, my internet.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So would you like to show that video, Ritu sir? 2.5x,
You
2.5D.
want me to show?
Yeah. Or else I'll just share my screen.
Yes. That will be. So yes. So I mean, sorry, I was in between my internet kind of.
Yeah.
So yes. So the thing that I was talking about now. So there are various departments, and as a director or maybe as a post production supervisor, we also need to understand which department will we will require. So when we say VFX, very specifically we need to understand which VFX department we will require. So maybe do we need match move, because accordingly we need to also design our shots. If we require a match move no artist, or maybe we will require infographics, or maybe we will require a 3D 3D, do we require lighting and texturing artists, so yes, so in general, we need to understand which department we will require, and accordingly we need to edit and then send it across to the respective department. Yes, sir. So we can start off with the motion graphics or whichever video.
Yeah. Which one? The third one.
Yes. So this is more or less of a infographic thing.
Pressure. There's pressure everywhere. There's work pressure, there's life pressure, and for some, there is life pressure also. Pressure. Is it a negative word? We at Atlas Copco don't think so. We believe that pressure is a very positive thing.
So these titles are like example of
So
adding titles of motion graphics.
Is compromise.
Also, this shaft that is coming, that is also, it has been, we couldn't, the shaft is not, it's an artificial shaft.
Right, right.
So these are majorly infographic.
Again, if you want to show some kind of stats of that particular product or something, like it comes under motion graphics again.
Yes. Also, motion graphics can be used to give particular motion to your visuals. So sometimes with if you can show them the Porphyry one, where
Okay.
the light, which is basically
Right.
working as
Right.
a which is also a part of the motion graphic.
Introducing a revolution in cooking. For the first time in India,
This
the new
kind of
source
lights where the product is getting revealed along with the information that we need to share. Also, like this green light which comes in.
Again, this is done in motion graphics. This lights and all that.
Even
In this
this
part.
red lights which is getting. So every time that we need to emphasize, we can use motion graphic or as a tool to.
Right. Right. So can we move forward?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, VFX, visual effects. As I said, now after the edit log, multiple departments works parallelly, and the VFX is a part of that. Where if you require some kind of rotoscopy or keying, keying is like if you have compositing shot, you have chroma shot, and if you want to compose it with if you want to replace any other background with that particular thing, so it comes under VFX. Again, match move, 3D animation. Let's say if you have a few shots like where you want to use live action with CG, like animated character plus live action, it again comes under the VFX. Now, with the visual effects, there are again multiple softwares. Uh, if you want to create 3D kind of models and all that, like there are softwares Maya, then Autodesk, and there are like softwares for compositing, Fusion. Again, After Effects you can use for compositing, and then rotoscopy. There are softwares like Silhouette and all that. So with that, we do the rotoscopy and all that. Rito sir, could you just focus on rotoscopy?
Yeah. So basically, rotoscopic job is sometimes let's say Superman or Batman or any other superhero who is jumping from or maybe flying. So obviously they are not just flying. So they have they are basically hanged with the help of wires. So rotoscopic job is to remove those wires frame by frame. So maybe if you have shot with 25 frames or maybe 24 frames per second, so every frame they will go and remove those wires. Also separating from the images. It's somewhat like Photoshop in a way, separating the image, and if we need to do compositing, so later we can do the compositing part. So like just where these characters, the superheroes are basically running on a treadmill. So there are 4 to 5 superheroes who are basically running on a treadmill. So we need to separate the
Yeah. So with the compositing, we like remove the backgrounds and we compose it with the any background as per the requirement. Okay, so where the compositing part comes, and again, as I said, if you have any requirement of adding animated character with the live action. Again, it comes under compositing. Okay. Any question in between? Suman sir?
Yes, we do have some questions in the Q&A blog.
Okay.
Like one question is how a sound designer or editor gets into film field, and for
Oh,
audio students passing out, how they can enter into film post or on location, specifically sound designer.
sorry, come again. Can I read that question? Sorry.
Yeah, it's in the Q&A.
Body shoot.
Okay, so the question is like how a sound designer or editor gets into film field. Like they are asking about audio students, how can they get into film production or on location?
Okay. So after VFX, we have the sound section, sound editing. Okay. Now again, I'll just go to the question. Okay. So after VFX, we'll just move to sound and we'll just answer the questions. Okay. Now, so after VFX, as I said, parallelly sound editing also the major part where sound engineer needs to get the files from editor, video editor, where the, as I explained in earlier stage, where the editor creates the file formats like OMF and all that for sound designing. And in sound design, sound editing stage, audio cleaning, syncing, creating follies, dubbing, ADR, and if we need some kind of SFX, it like this all comes under sound editing. Okay. Again, synchronization part, like basic level synchronization part, comes under the uh, like video editing only, but the fine tuning or the synchronization with the along with the technical aspects and all that, it comes under sound editing. And if you want to record or if you want to create some kind of foley, it again comes under this step. Okay. Then we have music production. Okay. So again, this will go parallelly. This goes parallelly. The sound and music production, and if the project requirement as per the need, if we need to create some kind of effects, it again comes under music production. Nowadays there are like software to produce music. Okay. So Pro Tools and all that. So with those softwares, we can uh, create, or we can use loops to compose the music. Or else, if you have any additional requirement of recording any particular instrument, we do in this stage. Then comes the sound mixing. Okay. Where we do the entire equalizing entire music and sound. Okay. And then matching the technical standards with the video. Let's say you have recorded with 25 fps, you should match the entire sound formatting with that. So it comes under sound mixing. Now we are at the end, we are going to like this entire stage will be linked with the entire deliverables and mastering. Okay, so parallelly, as I said, sound, VFX, and the color grading, it goes parallelly. Okay, because like after edit log we send the footages to like various departments, as I said. Now in color grading, the first stage is to match the shot. Let's say we have shootings, or we have shots, indoor outdoor shots, or like with the different kinds of temperatures, color temperatures and all that. So the matching part done in this process, color grading. Okay, and let's say if you want to achieve some kind of look, say if you want to achieve, like if you want to tone your film in a blue shade, or like sepia tone or green tone, so those kinds of looks you can achieve with these color grading techniques. Again, as I said, for color grading there are many various softwares like DaVinci Resolve, Baselight. Okay, and again, there is term called lookup table. So for each cameras, like there are defined presets. With those you can achieve specific look and feel to your film. Again, in color grading, you can achieve specific look, or let's say there is effect called day for night. Okay, now if you want to mm, if you want to shoot a night scene, now while production, it never happens like night scene we shoot with like night ambience. Always if you want to achieve night day for night effect, you shoot with low sunlight, maybe in the evening and all that. And with the help of these DaVinci Resolve and color grading, you drag down, or you play with the highlights and shadow part, and you can achieve that particular day for night kind of effect.
Now, just to add on to what Ganesh said, no, but sometimes what happens if if you're shooting in twilight, where it's dawn or dusk, uh, the limitation of time is very less. So we have what, half an hour max, or maybe 20 minutes max, to shoot the overall, and the number of shots we might have, it will be more. So to shoot day and night, and to grade it in grade it later, and to match the or maybe to give it idea of night. So sometimes what we can do, if you don't have we can use, we can go shooting with filters. There are filters, the camera filters. So we can use those filters, just like screen filters, neutral density. So we will have different kinds of filters, and like color filter, and those kind of filters, and those we can shoot with filters. So to give it, to darken the tone of the of the ambience, and later in grading we can give it a look of night. So some what mostly many directors they do, to give it a feel of like, they're shooting daytime and to give it a feel of night. Majorly with Rohit Shetty's film, many a times he shoots in the morning and give it a feel of night, with Golmaal series. So that's what day for night shoot is, to achieve the the idea that the whole ambience or the whole scene is taking place in at night time, but shoot wise we shoot in morning, with different filters, and and match it with the match it with night. Yes, Ganesh, you can.
Again, the last stage of post production, not last stage, the second last, where we master the entire package. Okay, where we create the audiovisual package. Okay, so if you have minor correction, we can do with the DaVinci Resolve or any final editing software you're going to use. It could be DaVinci Resolve, it could be Lightbase and all that. Okay, so minor correction in terms of editing, in terms of trimming, so those kinds of minor trimming, minor work you can do with the final grading software. And again, mastering. Now, mastering again depends on the a platform where we are going to release your film. Okay, so if you want to release, let's say in cinema halls, there we need to create DPX or uh, TCP kind of things, or image sequences, or else if you want to export it for like some kind of online platform or broadcasting. So broadcasting, like each channels has their standard uh, formats. So as per that, we can export the AV package. Okay, so again, so ProRes and MXF. MXF is again to, if it's a format used in the advertising agencies and channels. It's a material exchange format. So as per the platform, you can export your final package. Okay. So moving forward, the final deliverables where we can export for various mediums like Blu-ray, YouTube, broadcasting, DCP, as I said. So as per need, you can package your content, or you can uh, export your movie. Yeah. Ritu sir, would you like to discuss anything, or we'll just go to the Q&A session?
We'll start off with the Q&A session, and
Okay.
then you can have any other question. So then
Okay.
we'll keep on. So,
Okay. Great.
so the first question is, as a second guy, what are the files in which format are given to us, and what are the files we are supposed to give out for later processing? Hello, you guys.
Yeah, wait. Uh, okay, what's the question, Ritu? Can you repeat?
As a second guy, what are the files?
No, I can't hear you. Your voice is breaking actually.
Okay, let me tell you.
Can you
Hello?
hear me now? Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me now? Hello?
Ritu, so your voice is breaking. So let me read the question. Ganesh, can you please can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, Sumant.
Okay. So the question goes like, as a sound guy, what are the files that are given to us, and what are the files we are supposed to give out later? I mean, as a sound guy, what are the files given to them, and what are the files which are supposed to be given them back after processing?
Okay, so like before starting the audio post production, you get the OMF files where you get your entire data in individual clips. Okay, so that you can treat each clip as an individual and you can work on it. Okay, and while finishing the sound process, you can always export with the wave file. So now there is a method called beep to beep match. Okay, so before exporting entire timeline, editor inserts the beep at the beginning and at the end. Okay, so to refer to referring with those beeps, he can later match the entire audio with the original timeline. Yeah, Suman?
Yes, yes, yes. Please go on.
Okay. Next question.
Yeah, so the next question goes like sometimes we use the on location sound which we record. So the video editor mixes or the sound engineer. Like if the question is like who mixes the location sounds, either the
No.
video editor or sound engineer.
See, syncing part video editor should do, but the mixing or noise reduction or noise reducing or the leveling part comes under the audio engineer. It will come to audio engineer. Syncing part assistant editor should do.
And the question is also there: how do we manage the on-location sound footages?
Like they should maintain the dailies where you will have the record of entire day shoot and along with the video file names and the audio file names, like we maintain the TCR. I
No,
I didn't understood shot matching in color grading.
yeah.
What shot matching? Match moving, you are saying?
If maybe he meant that.
Okay.
How to
So let's say,
pre-plan about color palette?
huh? Match moving is asking about the. Oh, sorry.
If it's match move, then it's basically, as the term suggests, matching the movement. Sometimes, so basically, I'll give you I'll share an experience with you guys. So there was this shoot where there was a huge machine, and the machine has some kind of wings. So, as per the script suggests, so basically the script talk about the
I
wings
think
of.
Ritu sir, your voice is breaking. I'll just answer that.
Now, how's it? Can you guys
Yeah,
hear me?
yeah, tell me.
Okay. So basically, I'm sharing an experience of mine. What match move is. So match move, as the term suggests, matching the movement. So basically, there was a huge machine, and as the script suggests, it talks about the wings of those of that heavy machine. So now both the wings, and it's not an automated one. So basically, the wings needs to be manually open, or the the doors, which is basically an as in wing, it has to be manually opened. So both the side, there were two different people who kind of manually opened the door or the wings of that machine at the same time. And what the match move guy did, he is basically managed in a very small scale, I'm saying. He managed to maintain the time or the the movement of the wing same. And the rotoscopes, they remove the those two individuals who were opening the doors individually. They removed those guys, and the door or the wings which opened together at the same time. So matching the movement of those two wings at the same time, it's opening as if like a wing. So that's what, in a very small scale, that's what your match movement is all about, or a match move guy does.
I'll just give you a simple example. Let's say there is a running car, and if you want to replace its nameplate, sorry, it's a number plate. So at that point, you'll have to add the tracker point, and with
Yes.
the help of VFX softwares, we can simply replace the nameplate where the match move plays the role or tracker plays the role. Acha, Ritu, so could you talk about the color palette? There is question.
Yes. Where was it?
Uh,
Yes, so how we pre-planned
Pre-planning.
about color palette and how to get look in edit and that we previously thought of. So basically, your color palette is been designed priorly. So as in the other webinar, I was talking about one of the cinematographer, Camel Morganathu. He who's the cinematographer of Thor and then Terminator Genesis and all. So, as an anecdote, I gave you, I shared one of his experience that before he shot, Thor 2, he researched and then he came up with the idea of a color palette of red, yellow, and black. And then he designed or he mixed these three color with LED lights. And later, in post production, they enhanced the color. You need to play with your hues, its saturation, and so basically the low tones, mid tones, and high tones, and how you gonna work around it. So, but yes, I mean, how you gonna pre-plan about the color palette? The color palette you need to choose before your shooting happens and understanding the script. Color palette we can't just choose as per our wish. That okay, fine, you might like to have a red color all of a sudden. The color needs to go aesthetically with the script. If I'm talking about, let's say, a very elegant, which is also color palette is also goes with the color psychology of the viewer who is watching the movie, and also as a director or as a visualizer, how you want or what we want to communicate with the audience. So maybe when we choosing talking about color palette can be again can we can choose not only in terms of post production but also during the production or in pre-production, like choosing in terms of the costume, what kind of costume color it would be. Let's say if I'm talking about a I mean, very elegant, but at the same point of time, we need to showcase a rich elegance, but at the same point of time, talking about some dark character, we can, so basically, if you see noir movies, you will get to see a woman wearing a lot of black dresses, okay, which gives that power to the woman. So that black dress works accordingly, and it's a choice that been made during the pre-production, choosing the color palette with. Now if my character is wearing a black dress, what kind of color will be of that wall, which ambience or which particular place or space this this space has been talking about. So yes, so color palette has been we can choose during the pre-production, and color palette is chosen taking various other things into consideration. So I hope this answer gives its answer to your question.
There is one more question regarding lighting.
Okay, but when we lighting according to a color palette, but in edit somewhere it does not match the color we want. So how to do lighting accordingly? So lighting again, just like Ganesh sir was talking about TCR, TCR's sheet.
Shit.
Okay, so basically same way, there is also called lighting continuity. Okay, just like costume continuity, hair and makeup continuity, action continuity, there is also lighting continuity. Because if your lighting continuity doesn't match, it will be very hard for the editor to cut. So when we talk about continuity, we generally talk about action continuity or makeup or hair continuity. But lighting continuity is as important as action continuity. Excuse me. So and if my lighting continuity doesn't match it, my editor won't be able to edit. So there is a process where the second assistant cinematographer, he or her, no she, whoever, their job is to note down every frame and giving the which lens, which we call as a log sheet. So in log sheet we note down everything from the white balance, the aperture, which lens it know, what depth of field, calculating the depth of field, giving the exact point, what depth of field, which light, what is the face light, what is the background light, measuring it with light meter, and putting everything down in that log sheet. And that information again, it's kept. So in at any given point of time, it seems that it's not matching each other. So then again they have to reshoot. So they can refer to those shots or those information which is there in the log sheet, so they can get an understanding that what lighting was done previously, and to match what I need, or the second DOP, if this is not the same DOP, then what the second DOP needs to do to match that lighting. That is one. Secondly, lighting according to color palette depends on what, again, as I said, what kind of story is it. So then only we will choose the color palette, and color palette is not one aspect. There are many other aspects like costume, background color, property color, makeup. So everything comes together to decide the color palette. And then whether we need to enhance or whether we need to decrease the color, that we can do it in color grading. So I guess, again, that's how you do it. And how to do lighting accordingly, as I guess I've already mentioned it. What is color psychology? Color psychology is like, it's a psychology, and every color gives represents a certain emotion to to human psychology. Like, for an example, the other day, I was talking about a boy who is proposing a girl with a red rose. It's not about the rose, but it's about the color, which is red, and red, which is basically a code, which gives an idea of passion or energy. uh, that's what we are connecting with love, or impression of love, or having feelings for somebody else. If you are talking about some like Mummy, for an example, a movie like Mummy, which has got a very richness. So it always has a golden tone, overall golden tone to that movie. But at the same time, it has, to the earlier question, lighting. So it's a bit overexposed at the same point of time. Then if I'm talking, if you're talking about some farmer issue or farming issue, which is very realistic to the nature, then we can go with bit of earthy color like brown. So again, which every color depicts a certain emotion of human, and it enhances that enhances that certain emotion of that human. So psychology works in that way. So with every story, with every script or every story, there will be different color to depict that particular emotion. Just like Navaras that we talk, Shantata is white, and the Bhayanak. So every with 9 rasa or 9 emotion, and 9 emotion depicts nine different colors. So yes, so color psychology is, so we can have a different talk about color psychology in a different session maybe. But yes, just to give you a certain idea about it, that's what about color psychology.
Right, right.
Can you quickly take the last question before we wrap this session, please?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So quickly, there are two questions. So one is how profile picture or a flat profile and raw footages works for editing purpose in terms of color grading.
See, answering to that, now remember, any video contains two major elements. First is your chrominance and luminance. Now, the most important element is your color. Sorry, your luminance, light, because you can't reduce the light. You can play with the color. You can reduce the color values or color detailing, but you can't change the value of your brightness. Okay, so recording with raw footage, it records with your maximum level of brightness. Okay, so because of that, it helps with the color grading. We can play with the HSL, like highlight, midtones, and midtones, and the crow, like black part. Okay, so the raw uh, footage creates maximum bright image, and it helps while color grading. Now remember, you can reduce the brightness, you can't increase it. If you increase it in post production, it will be grainy, or it creates noisy kind of picture profile or picture output. Yes, Suman sir.
And there's another last question: how to remove sound from a clip which got dialogues and which has same frequency as the clip?
How to remove sound in
Yes.
is it related with the software or what?
Usually it's gonna do with software. How to remove sound?
No, there are methods, like we can detach the audio and we can just simply remove it.
All right. So this calls for a wrap for this session.
Yeah,
We will continue
because I
the
think
post
there
production.
are more. I think there are more questions related to color grading. So
We can approach session for color
yeah,
grading and color
exactly.
We
color
can we
correction.
can
We
we can
can
talk
have
about color grading and color psychology.
psychology, right, right.
Some please tell more about picture profile. So the picture profile will be totally no, we can take it on color grading. If you
When
can.
he is talking about the linear and all that, those things, linear
Yes, sir,
picture
definitely.
picture,
We will do another session about color correction and
right,
color grading.
right.
For now, let us call it a wrap. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank you.
you.